In the year 2145, Dr. Alexander Hartman, a brilliant scientist, made a groundbreaking discovery: a functioning time machine. For years, he had dedicated himself to unraveling the mysteries of time travel, and now he held the key to altering the course of history. Excitement filled his heart, but it was soon overshadowed by a deep sense of responsibility and concern. Dr. Hartman knew the potential dangers of tampering with the past. The consequences of even the smallest changes could ripple through time and create unforeseen and catastrophic outcomes in the present. Despite this knowledge, he couldn't resist the temptation to prevent a tragic event that haunted him, an event that had shaped the world he lived in. Years before, a devastating catastrophe had struck, known as the Great Cataclysm. It had resulted in the loss of countless lives, widespread destruction, and the reshaping of entire continents. Dr. Hartman had lost loved ones in the catastrophe, and it had spurred him to dedicate his life to scientific discovery, hoping to prevent such devastation from ever happening again. As he stood before the time machine, wrestling with his decision, he was visited by an enigmatic figure, a mysterious time traveler who had experienced the horrors of altering the past firsthand. The traveler warned him of the dangers of time meddling, sharing tales of civilizations destroyed, paradoxes that ripped reality apart, and the toll it took on the traveler's own existence. Despite the warnings, Dr. Hartman couldn't let go of his desire to change the past. He believed that with his advanced knowledge and calculations, he could make precise adjustments without causing any unintended consequences. His intentions were noble, but the traveler insisted that every change, no matter how small, would set off a chain of events that could not be controlled. Torn between his heart and his scientific mind, Dr. Hartman decided to take a leap of faith. He set the time machine for the day of the Great Cataclysm, determined to prevent the tragedy that had devastated the world. As he activated the machine, a surge of energy enveloped him, and he found himself transported to the past. Upon arriving at his destination, Dr. Hartman quickly realized that the traveler had been right. His attempts to alter events led to unforeseen consequences. The smallest changes in history created a domino effect, altering the present in ways he could never have predicted. In his desperate attempts to fix the past, he inadvertently caused new catastrophes that were even worse than the one he sought to prevent. Whole civilizations vanished, and the world he knew began to crumble. He felt the weight of the paradoxes on his shoulders, and the guilt of tampering with time consumed him. Faced with the devastating results of his actions, Dr. Hartman knew he had to find a way to set things right. He returned to the present, determined to undo the changes he had made, even if it meant sacrificing his own happiness and memories. Upon his return, he discovered that the time traveler had left him a cryptic message, a final plea to learn from his mistakes and accept that some events in history were meant to happen, no matter how tragic they seemed. The message urged him to find hope and purpose in the present rather than dwelling on the past. Dr. Hartman realized that the true power of time travel wasn't in changing history but in learning from it. He vowed to use his knowledge and skills to better the future, to create a world that would be more resilient in the face of adversity, and to honor the memory of those lost in the Great Cataclysm. In the end, Dr. Hartman chose not to dwell on the past or be burdened by the temptation of changing it. Instead, he focused on the present and the future, striving to make a positive impact on the world and to ensure that the mistakes of the past would not be repeated. And so, The Time Traveler's Dilemma taught Dr. Hartman a profound lesson about the complexities of time and the importance of embracing the present while shaping a better tomorrow. It reminded him that, as powerful as science and technology were, the true measure of progress lay in the wisdom and humility to learn from the past and to be mindful of the consequences of our actions. Please like, comment and subscribe the channel.